Now, the St. Charles Art Walk used to host their festival outside on Main Street, but it wasn't getting the attention that they so desired. This year, they decided to try something a little different in hopes that one of these fellas go home to a potential buyer. A few weeks ago, SSM health leaders were on hand to help break ground for the new post office in St. Charles. Now they're moving forward with what's ahead for the hospital. The new post office will be behind this Schnucks on nearly 4 acres of land donated by Lindenwood University. Construction of the $5.2 million facility is being funded by SSM Health St. Louis and the St. Charles County Board. One thing that makes this park so unique is the community vegetable garden. Now, it may not look like much right now due to the weather and December, but come May and spring and summertime, this community garden will be replenished with many vegetables. This Drosty Road project stretches from West Clay to Duchesne Road, with improvements coming on the pavement, sidewalk, and utility adjustments, including a turning lane on the corner intersection of West Clay and Drosty Road. Members from various organizations made their way into the tent on Thursday for the groundbreaking ceremony. The several parties expressed not only how much of a relief that the project is now underway, but what this means in terms of development for the city. 1, 2, 3. Officials and investors of St. Charles County broke ground with applause and cheers as the long-awaited project is now underway. Everyone piled into the tent to hear a few words from key speakers, including one Mike Bowers, who expressed the issues of this prolonged assignment.
You have 3 different parties involved and different real estate transactions that have to happen and different very complicated funding sources. It took some time, and it took a lot of patience to get there.
St. Charles will acquire the existing post office property and use the site for future hospital growth opportunities. The president of Lindenwood University gave his insight on what it means for the city of St. Charles.
It's a great partnership. It provides opportunity, as you know, for our hospital that's so important to the area to continue to grow and develop in this area, in this county.
The new post office will be behind this Schnucks on nearly 4 acres of land donated by Lindenwood University. Construction of the $5.2 million facility is being funded by SSM Health St. Louis and the St. Charles County Board. Now that the hard part's out of the way, Bowers spoke on what's next for the growing hospital.
The next step as we build this will be a chance for us to take over the current property that's by the hospital, and we'll eventually take that down and be in a position where we can better platform our hospital to better serve the community and provide really greater access for healthcare across the entire county. So
it's a win-win-win for everyone, and more importantly, I think it really shows the vibrant nature of this community and our ability to work together.
The new St. Charles Post Office will be designed by architecture firm The Lawrence Group, and Alberici Healthcare will take on the construction. The post office will cover about 22,000 square feet and is set to be completed in June 2016. For OUTV News, I'm Matt Sturdivant. A few weeks ago, SSM health leaders were on hand to help break ground for the new post office in St. Charles. Now they're moving forward with what's ahead for the hospital. Remember this? The site for the new post office? Well, fast forward 3 weeks later, now we're here at the groundbreaking ceremony for the SSM Outpatient Center in St. Charles. President Mike Bowers says this outpatient center will be a centerpiece for development.
Healthcare is changing, and as we're evolving the way we're going to provide access to our community, this outpatient center is very core to that. So to be able to put $26 million into the community for just that is a great opportunity for us, and we're very blessed and excited to be here.
Despite the rainy weather, the Vice President of Operations stresses the significance of this venture.
It's important for us to build an outpatient facility capable of meeting the needs of the region's population, one that makes healthcare more convenient, coordinated, and affordable, providing easier access for services that complement each other and are all provided under one roof.
Now we're in phase 2 of this post office SSM process, and with the higher-ups working behind the scenes to push things forward, Margaret Head says it's not just them that they take into consideration.
We actually involved the physicians and the staff and the departments that are going to be part of this facility, because we need that frontline input in order to make the facility work better for our patients.
Bowers went on to include that getting this project off the ground and operational is the first, but not last step.
We're going to master plan our hospital site, which includes taking the post office down when they relocate next summer, and looking at how services are provided within the hospital to be most appropriate for the patients that we serve in this part of the county.
One of the goals for the outpatient center is for it to be accessible from Highway 70, with the center scheduled to be completed in April of 2017. In the studio for LUTV News, I'm Matt Sturdivant.
LUTV's Matt Sturdivant is in the studio to tell us about their ways of creation.
Well, the artists intended to communicate with the public in an eventful way, and at the Riverfront Art Walk in St. Charles, they chose to do it with a twist. The 10th annual St. Charles Art Walk has a new twist on an old theme. President Jared Cooper says it's a way to get the public to understand the relationship between art and the artist.
We've got fantastic artists represented from all over St. Charles County.
Now, the St. Charles Art Walk used to host their festival outside on Main Street, but it wasn't getting the attention that they so desired. This year, they decided to try something a little different in hopes that one of these fellas go home to a potential buyer. Vice President Neil Gray says he's excited for the attraction that it will bring.
I'm really excited. It's a great opportunity for the public to get an interest in what's going on. I'm really excited for our organization. I'm really excited for the St. Charles community and the potential that our organization, the community, and these artists hold for the rest of the area.
The mission of St. Charles Riverfront Arts is to create and nourish an arts community within St. Charles County, with bringing in a select group of artists to share what or whom inspired them all.
Like Run DMC, the Fat Boys, UTFO, Grandmaster Flash, the Beastie Boys. Those are groups in that whole culture kind of influenced me into a more bolder kind of visual art.
My work is all about experiencing nature, being a part of it, exploring it in different ways.
A lot of my sculptures are like a narrative. They tell a story. A lot of them are Christian-based. A lot of them are science fiction-based.
Neil Gray also felt that it was time to do something just a little different. He felt that it was time to get weird.
Let's be different. Let's host artists that are outside of the norm. People say, let's think outside of the box. I don't think there's a box per se, but all the same, let's avoid what people are used to seeing. Let's make sure that people see the potential in art rather than just the usual thing.
The Art Walk is a non-for-profit organization who provides cultural and educational activities to enhance the artistic qualities of St. Charles County community and the St. Louis area as a whole. In the studio, Matt Sturdivant, LUTV News. Coming up on LUTV News, Republican presidential candidates land in St. Louis. Hear what they do if elected president. Plus, the Ferguson Commission releases its long-awaited report. Find out what those changes they propose. And Thanksgiving is over, but there's another day dedicated to giving. Find out what Giving Tuesday is all about and how you can participate. Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Matt Sturdivant. Pope Francis is urging Congress to welcome immigrants and to end the death penalty. In his speech to lawmakers, the Pope says people are not things that can be discarded just because they are troublesome. His comments are a response to issues about immigrants from Latin America and migrants from the Middle East. Pope Francis also stressed that life is sacred. He says society can only benefit from rehabilitating those convicted of crimes. How will Missouri lawmakers use $4.3 million to help refugees resettle in the state? A Republican-led budget shows the federal money will be used for medical care, housing, and financial assistance. Since the Paris attacks, Governor Jay Nixon's refusal to block Syrian refugees from Missouri has upset many state lawmakers. House Democrats suggested about spending $6.5 million to adopt additional highway patrol safeguards. They also want $1.5 million to verify refugee screenings. The Ferguson Commission released this report on Monday. Governor Jay Nixon appointed local politicians and residents of St. Louis to the panel. The report proposes several ideas, including increasing the minimum wage, revising the state's education system, and assigning the state attorney general as a prosecutor in cases where police force results in death. Another credit card skimmer was discovered on Tuesday in St. Charles. The third suspect was seen at a fast lane in the 1000 block of North Main Street. Earlier this week, 2 other skimmers have been arrested in the O'Fallon area. It is not known at this time if these are isolated incidents, and the police department urges the businesses in O'Fallon to check their ATMs. This is the photo of the man suspected of installing the skimming devices. The photo was taken on October 31st at 6:23 a.m. If you have any information, call O'Fallon Police at 636-379-5664. The St. Charles County Police Department will be holding an open house on Saturday. You can tour the station, take a look at their vehicles, and go behind the scenes and learn about how St. Charles Finest keeps the city streets safe. Also get a chance to meet KCK9 and Miss Missouri Preteen USA, Chloe Layden. The open house will take place at the police station located at 101 Sheriff Dierker Court from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Straight ahead on LUTV News, snow is not in the forecast yet, but the Missouri Department of Transportation wants you to be ready for the winter. Find out what MoDOT did to prepare you for the upcoming season.